the reason why I'm going to talk about property investment, and actually we had about 14 events this year, and not once I talked or spoke about property investment. I always talk about business in general, what do you need to do to scale your business and so on. But analyzing all my life and other people's businesses, full stop. And I always say to myself, you know what? This is why property investment is good for anybody. It's one industry, and you can have it as a side fucking hustle. It's one industry that can never die. Every human will need a home. And it's one industry, which I will show you now some of my deals that I have done it and why I have done it, that you can do it as a side hustle. Even if you got husband and wife, if you guys are earning 150 grand combined or 200 combined, or whatever the fucking number is, how this can actually speed up your life better financially, full stop. And I have simplified it, most importantly, how anybody can start extremely small. So, few things that if you do decide to get into property investment, and I'm going to keep things very fucking simple, that you all can do this if you decide to do it as a side hustle or the main thing. And by the way, if you make it the main thing, it's a great job you can have because you're working for yourself and you can work as much as you want or be invested with your time as much as you want. But if you do decide to do so, very crucial, before you even consider doing it, understand the market you want to be in. Yesterday I met father and son. They flew all the way from Melbourne to be here this evening. And they came to my office. We had a great conversation. And I said to them, you know what? Before you even spend $1 in Brisbane, you really want to understand the market. Where there's a demand in Brisbane, what's going to go up in value, where there's a great rental return, whatever you're chasing, you really want to understand the market. You don't want to just say, I'm going to be a property investor. If you pick a suburbs to invest $500,000-$600,000, and there's only a certain amount of suburbs in Brisbane that are offering you that, research the fuck out of them. Even if you have to go to open homes, and if the homes are selling for 500 grand, renovated, not renovated, how many people go to those open homes? How many offers they are actually getting? Because you can get all that information online, through real estate agents, or so many different places right now. So it's important to understand the market. Not to mention, try to buy below the market as well, which I will discuss with you in a second. 2, which is very crucial, know your finances. So before you even start fucking going anywhere, know what you can buy. The good thing about property investment, I'm not going to compare it to e-commerce or whatever business Simon is, or Sean, or Albos. Clearly all three of them done fucking very well. But the reality is, this is one industry where you can use banks' money. When Simon was starting his business, he couldn't say, hey, I got 20 grand or I got 100 grand in my pocket, I'm going to borrow 500 grand from the bank to start up e-commerce company. They would laugh at him. You had to use all of your money. This is one industry. If you got a solid income, you can potentially only use 5, 10 or 20% deposit, and rest you can use banks' money to actually help you fund that business that you want to get yourself into. And by finding what bank will lend you will give you clear picture how much you can actually spend on whatever the fuck you want to buy straight away. Mezzanine funding, just before, a lot of people, a lot of developers, investors are using mezzanine funding, which means they're paying 10, 15 or 20% interest. You're only going to consider that when you really become a fucking expert investor, because that interest, if you lose time, can eat you, you might end up not making any profit. So don't even consider borrowing money from the third lenders till you know what you're actually doing in the market, full stop. Third, which is very crucial, quite often I talk to Simon, and to him starting small is probably putting fucking 20 million bucks into something. And I always say, even to somebody like him, if you want to play in a property market, start extremely small. And I will show you in a second few examples how to start extremely small. Because starting small, if you're buying, for example, which I will show you one example, property for $500,000, spending 100 grand on renovation, and property was sold for profit, because In the time, specifically when you're starting, if it's a reno or brand new home or whatever it is, you call it your education. Just like going to uni, you're going to see what works, you're going to see what doesn't, you're going to see where you're going to hit roadblocks. Could be hard to get contractors, hard to deal with designers. Whatever it is, your mistakes are so little in whatever fuck-ups you're making on that little journey. So it doesn't matter how much money you have, use it as an educational tool to actually learn what you're doing. Key is to buy well and create value. One thing that I do, I always have a policy. Anything I buy today, if I want to get out tomorrow, I'm not going to lose money. Straight away, as an investor, it eliminates every apartment you're going to buy today. Because no apartment is going to be worth tomorrow, unless it's worth 500 grand and you're buying it for $350,000. Chances you finding that those deals on starts are fuck all. So eliminate anything where you can't actually get your money back. And when you are buying, don't listen to real estate agents, because every fucking real estate, I got 10 offices, right? But every real estate agent is going to tell you this is the best fucking deal ever. It's going to go up in value. Great fucking return. They're going to tell you every bullshit story you want to fucking hear to sign the contract, and they tell you get the fuck out. Simple as that. My guys are not like that. Let's just make that fucking clear. But that's most of the agents, right? So never fucking trust a single one of them. Selling or buying agent, full stop, which I will go into detail that later. But the reality is, when it comes to buying well, doesn't matter when you go. I see 100 deals a week, literally, and only buy 1-2 properties a month. With me, the deals that come, I just keep fucking office, because my office are normally 20% below market. If I buy it, great. But where I'm going strong, which means I get my finances sorted. I know exactly what I can buy, and my money is ready to go, and I research the fuck out of that property, why is it good for me, and I make 20% offer below market value. If I buy, great. Because if I have to get rid of that property tomorrow, I'm not losing money. And in a property game, very easy to lose money, full stop. Renovating, building, subdividing, holding, aiming for capital growth, a lot of different options with the properties. Some properties you can buy them, do nothing, flip them in the same day and make $1 if you buy well. Then you can renovate them, add value, you can build something on the land or subdivide the land. Point that I'm looking for, if I look at any fucking deal, if I can't add value to it, I'm walking out. Unless I'm buying extremely well, which means if the apartment is worth 500 grand and I'm buying it for 300, then who cares? But that doesn't happen often. So with me, anything I look for is where I can add value. Otherwise, I'm out. Feasibility. This is, quite often I discuss this with my business partners about the business that we're running. Every fucking deal that I'm looking at, my feasibility is very fucking detailed. Okay, I'm buying land for 500 grand. What's my stamp duty? How long is it going to cost me? How much is it going to cost me for the architect fees? Town planners. Every fucking cost added, because most people are focused on one thing, which I will show you later. Land is 500, construction is 200, I sold it for 900, I'm making 200 grand profit. Where's the GST? Where is the stamp duty? Where is the holding cost? So make sure that your feasibility is so fucking tight. And then whatever you think is going to cost you, add another 10% contingency in it, then you know your deal is safe to potentially go through. So I hope some of you are taking photos of this. This is what has worked for me. Okay, so this is so fucking simple. This is not even my deal. This gentleman who owns this property, that I did it with him. His name is Steve, and he works with me. So he purchased this block of land in middle of fucking Ipswich, Ripley, right? If I say to you that you should buy property in Ripley, most of you would say, fuck, we only heard of this location. Well, fucking, if you're talking about location, you only want to buy a new farm, right? Nowhere else. Location in property investment is anywhere where there's a strong demand for properties in the market. It is a fucking strong demand from buyers. You need to figure out a way how you can actually create value. So this is very simple, and this is why anybody can do this. Pick suburb. Ripley in this example. Not renovated home was $500,000. That's exactly what Steve paid. Renovated, home like this was anywhere between $800,000 to $900,000. It's very simple for you to walk into non-renovated home and see how bad it is, and see renovated home, how good it is. You can easily, this thing is really fucking with me. If Simon, there's a good chance you're not going to have this because I must step on it before I give you this back. But the simple thing is, if you find renovated and not renovated, before you even start hunting, and if renovation is something that you want to do, find people that can potentially help you do the work. In any renovations, you really, really, really want to find small builders that are more hands-on than anything, because it's going to cost you less when they're actually physically working. So start establishing relationship with potential builders that can actually do the work for you. And they can give you an idea. Hey, Steve, this reno, Steve fucking called me, this reno is going to only cost you $80,000 to $100,000. Well, it's 2 plus fucking 2 is that simple. Not renovated $500,000. If he spends $100,000 on renovation, $600,000, and they're selling for more. And you can actually compare apple to fucking apple, almost. So apple to orange, not renovated, and what is finished product. In this case, he bought a house, $500,000, spent $100,000 renovating, and he sold it for $860,000. Not all $260,000 is profit. You gotta take stamp duty, feasibility in a detail, stamp duty, GST, agent's commission, still a lot of profit. But think about this. There's probably about $200,000 clean profit here. Now, Steve has only put about $100,000 in it. Rest was bank's money. So when it comes to return on your investment, that's a fucking, you double your money. It might be only 20-30% if you're actually talking about it cost him $600,000 and he sold it for $850,000. It's like 25-30%. But not if you're utilizing bank's money. So if you start this fucking small with having $100,000, obviously good income the bank can support, after this property is sold, then you can do fucking more. You can do 2 at the same time. And then you might make $300,000-400,000, and every year if you kept increasing it. And that's how I got to have $80 million fucking dollars worth of properties right this single second, using this. And my start was, I bought land for $73,000, built a house for $100,000, and I sold it for $295,000. I made bit over $100,000. I thought I was fucking richest man in the country. I was only 18 years old. Like, what the fuck am I going to do with this money? But then just kept doing it more and more and more and more. And when you're doing this, you can still have your job if you want to have that safety and do one small project at a time. And in this project, even if you fuck up your budget by 30, 40 grand, you can still survive learning on this little or smaller money, should I say. Then, opportunity again. This is one of my little deals. I bought land for $525,000. I negotiated hard. And with this, it was one big block of land. This was, if you want to go into learning about subdivision. Any land you want to buy, first thing you want to do, establish relationship with town planner. Have him on the call. Because if you see block of land, you can give him a call. Hey, Mark, in my case, the town planner that I'm using for 20 years, 2 questions. What can I do with this land? You can chop it into 7 blocks. Great. How long is it going to take me for DA? 3 to 6 months. Great. How long is it going to take me to get the work done? Another 3 to 6 months. He will give you most of the questions you need answered. But again, starting small. In this case, land was $525,000. I spent $250,000 on operational works, chopping it from 1 into 7 blocks, and I sold it for $1.7 million. And I'm pretty sure I only used about $150,000 of my own money, rest bank's money. And again, this is your next step. Again, starting small. We're not talking about fucking $2-3 million. This is all what's possible. By the end of this, I'm not going to fucking sell you any course for $50,000 so you can learn this from me. Just sharing you my knowledge of what's possible, starting small. Again, block of land, I bought it for $900,000, all shitty house on it, demolished it, spent $1.3 million building that home, and I sold it for $3.5 million. With this, you don't have to be builder because I wasn't using me as a builder. I bought land for $900,000. Again, with this, I saw what brand new homes in that suburbs are selling for. Very simple. And then I took then you can take those plans from those developers or builders that are selling brand new houses, Take that fucking plan and give it to builders that you might build a relationship with. Give it to 5 builders and ask them, how much would something like this cost me? And in this case, I paid the builder his margin, and answer to me was $1.3 million. And it's just so simple fucking maths. Land was 900 grand, house was 1.3, and I sold it in the middle of the COVID for 3.5. If COVID wasn't there, I would sell it even for more. But the point is, and bigger the properties are, if you understand the market, what I discussed on the start, you won't over-capitalize. And that's why you can't get personally attached to anything. But before you get to this stage, starting small, you are learning as you go because you're constantly talking to different contractors, builders, real estate agents, and your knowledge is getting better before you get to this level. Next thing is you want to be known as an active investor. So if you want to be investing money in real estate, speak to a lot of agents with your finances organized and tell them I'm actively looking. Keep calling top guys and figure out which ones are really shit, because there's a lot of good agents that sell a lot that are terrible at working for their sellers. That's the one you want to deal with, right? You don't want to deal with an agent that gives a fuck about his seller because he's going to get every dollar out of you as a buyer. So it's very easy for you to figure out who is a bad agent. Simply asking why they're selling. If he tells you it's a divorce, you're like, fucking moron, you shouldn't tell me that because I'm going to give you a shit offer, right? But the reality is, establish relationship with a lot of real estate agents and buyer's agents. Make it very clear to them. You're in a business of buying fucking properties today. Bring me good deals. And I can settle fast because I got my finances ready. If you understand the market, going back to start, and if you know the value of properties in that suburb, when deal comes to you, you can act fast and you can capitalize. This is one of the deals I bought for $1.9 million last year. 8 a.m., 5 p.m., sold it for $2,510,000. I bought it under value. Deal was brought to me. 600 grand in single fucking day. Yeah, this, Emil, sounds easy. It is easy if you are fucking active, just like you are in your own business. And in my case, I'm constantly active. People know I'm cashed up. Whatever they want to think, I'm ready to buy, and they will bring me deals constantly. And I keep making offers, and if they go through, great. So this is called flip, and don't be attached. Don't be attached, I can build a big home on it. It's going to look amazing. Don't feed your fucking ego. Just look at your fucking result. Moving up from there, this is another quick one. Land, I bought it for $1.55 million, spent $1.3 million on the house and sold it for $4 million. Very simple. When I found that shitty land, it was good land, but shitty units on it, I simply look at the brand new home in the fucking suburb, how much they're selling for. And then I took those plans to 5 builders and, hey, how much would it cost me to build this? It would cost anywhere between 1.2 to 1.5. Well, land is selling for 1.5. It's so simple maths. It's just, you got to do your research. You got to be active in the market to learn this. But again, starting small and building it up, you will also understand what buyers want in the market, and that's what you want to develop. You never build or develop anything that you want because you're not going to fucking sell it to yourself. So don't get attached. Every single house that I build, I don't like any of them. Who gives a fuck what I like? I need people like Simon to give me millions for it. And I'm going to build what he wants. Simple as that in any market. Again, another little deal. I bought it for $2.5 million last May. Took me about 5 months to renovate this house. And in January, I sold it for $4,910,000. And I can't tell you how much it cost me, because the guy who bought it, I actually know him well. We became mates. And if I tell him exactly how much it cost me, and I think he's in this room, he will never fucking do business with me again. So let's just say that whatever car comes next, he fucking paid for it. And I do have expensive taste. Not just kidding. He's actually here somewhere. So he always give him shit. He knows that we made $1. But the point is, again, simple fucking process. I bought this for $2.5 million on the auction. So it wasn't even a private sale. And I was looking for brand new homes or renovated homes in the suburbs, how much they're selling. And again, board builder in. Well, now I've got obviously experience after being in the game for 20 years. What should I do to it? How much would it cost? And then you can compare it to what's on the market. Sold it within 24 hours for $4,910,000. The next one, bought this on auction for $4.5 million. Spent $270,000 on chopping it up into 4 blocks. Another $220,000 in stamp duty. So about $5 million raw cost. Sold for $8 million bucks. Again, this is where all it can get to. And the most important part, this is my own home. I bought this in the middle of COVID. I also did another $60 million deal in the same day, but that's a story for another day. But this is one time when most people didn't want to buy anything. And I bought an old house built by Hutchinson Builders 25 years ago. I bought it for $3,125,000, and land itself was worth, at that time, well over 5, and it's worth 7, 8 today. And I'm building 1,300 square meter home that I decided to keep, which will be worth $18 to $20 million. It'll be finished in April. The way this home is right now, all started from my little fucking house, a little land that I bought for $73,000. And I built a house for $100,000, and I was learning and making mistakes on that. And I'm 44. If I didn't fuck up in my past as much as I did, I'd be worth $5 billion today. But I'm doing okay. I can't fucking complain, right? But property is one industry that you're all attached to, because you're all going home to one. You either fucking own it, or you're going to invest in it. But think about this. For any young person, even if you don't give a fuck about property investing, full stop, when you're buying, of course you want to buy and live in New Farm. Who the fuck wants to buy in Ipswich, right? But sorry for anybody in Ipswich here, it's still a nice place. But the reality is this. You can buy a big block of land with shitty house in Ipswich for $500,000. You can still rent it out to somebody if you want to do that, and then you can rent something in New Farm yourself. But whatever you buy, specifically when you're in your 20s, because now whatever you're buying, you're going to borrow fucking a lot because everything is so expensive. So if you're going to borrow a lot, the reality is you're not going to live in that property forever. Maximum 5 to 10 years. Maximum. You're either going to have kids, grow the family, or whatever the situation is. So if you're doing it, buy something that's going to go up in value. And buying any fucking unit, sorry to developers here, they are making all the cream on you. You're the suck on the end. Full stop. So buy anything that has land that's adding value, full stop. And that's why it got me from zero to having $80 million worth of properties today. And tomorrow morning I'm actually announcing I selected 10 people that I'm going to spend entire day with, taking them to my developments and showing them what I do. And by the way, I didn't charge them anything, just want to share my knowledge. But this is one industry, you're sitting on it. That fucking simple, because I'm not the most educated guy, I'm not the fucking smartest guy, and I'm building a fuck off house now. That's from me. Thank you all.